Welcome to a special edition of the RDG Magazine podcast. I'm your host, Jason Hugg, and today we're broadcasting from Grings Mill Park in Wyomissing. Joining me today is Peggy Reed, founder of the Run4Sam 10K 4-mile run and a 2-mile walk. The race itself is on its 9th year and still going strong thanks to several hundred local runners, volunteers, and sponsors. More importantly, Run4Sam honors the memory of Sam Reed, Peggy's son, a former Schuylkill Valley High School cross-country runner whose life was tragically taken on September 1st, 2007 by a hit-and-run drunk driver while he was attending the University of Pittsburgh. Peggy, I know this is not easy to talk about, but would you like to kind of talk about Sam, his memory, and what you've done for Grings Mill Park?
Well, sure. I think any parent who finds himself in a position like this, initially isn't sure how they're going to put one foot in front of the other or get up in the morning. But it became evident to my husband, my son, and I, and our close family and friends that to move forward, we chose to find a way to honor Sam and celebrate his life. And this race became a natural legacy for him because it honors so many things that he was passionate about. Running, which he ran every day, especially in this park he loves so much. The park itself, of course, and education. He was all about advancing learning to enrich his life, and that's part of what we do. Besides giving back to the park, we also have a very nice scholarship that's managed by Berks County Community Foundation.
Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about the race itself and exactly how it got started after everything happened.
Well, I think we all just realized that a race would be the most appropriate thing because actually Sam ran in a race every weekend. When he was in high school, he continued running just not competitively, but for his own enjoyment when he was in Pittsburgh, and certainly whenever he was home here from school, he would always head down to the park. And besides having the love for the park and running every day, he actually composed his college essay about his love for the trail and how he found peace and comfort on the trail. And when he felt stressed or alone, he, in his mind, took himself back to the park and felt peace here. So all those things made it very easy for us to choose a race in a place that he loves so much.
Now, whose idea was it for the race? Was it just?
I think it was. I think we just it just happened. Like we just said, let's have a race because it seemed so suitable for it, and the place was not even in question. Mm-hmm. Having lived in close proximity to the race, the boys grew up here. When they were little, I had them in snugglies on the trail. We fished down here, we biked down here with them, so they grew up on the trail. Sam and my other son Evan. So it was just all fell into place.
As the years have gone on with the race, there's been a scholarship set up as well.
Yes. Much to our surprise and astonishment, we were notified shortly after Sam's death that an anonymous donor had made a very sizable donation to Berks County Community Foundation in Sam's name for us to establish the criteria, and we just keep donating to it every year. This year the scholarship was $2,400, and it keeps getting bigger every year.
And along with that, even each year, there's a core group of runners that comes back to run with you as well.
Well, yes. It's one of the best things for my family is so many of Sam's peers and friends come back to run for him or with us, and it's really wonderful to see all them. So a few years ago, actually pretty soon after we started the race, we decided to set up teams for the 4-mile course. And it's kind of like a fun thing. Of course, if those runners who are running in a team get a discounted registration fee, but they will make up a name, and it kind of just is fun camaraderie. And but 2 of those teams, one is called Team Reed, which is of course our last name, REED, and that's the group of runners from Schuylkill Valley and Sam's friends, and Reed stands for Run Everyone Else Down, and they come back every year. And then my team is usually mostly my family that come from New England. My brother's a runner, but that's called Sam's Herons. The heron, which is on our logo, and one of the more majestic birds of the park, is kind of our has special meaning to us, as we had even Sam's memorial here. While my husband and my son and I were sort of eulogizing Sam, there was a beautiful blue heron that took off over our heads. Wow. And soared down the creek, and we weren't aware of it, but it was pointed out to us, so it just became natural. Mm-hmm. That's part of our logo. And when I run and see a heron, it still kind of takes my breath away, because we like to think of that's him soaring at the creek. Yeah.
You guys have done a lot for the park.
We're proud of all that we've done, and we've partnered with the park. I think Sam would be proud of what we've done. We've tried to keep a mission to preserve and maintain the beauty of the creek and the running trail, and the trail systems, pretty much focused on Grings Mill Park and along the race course. We've planted many flowering trees our first couple years, dogwoods, redbuds, tree hydrangeas, which are really lovely in the spring and have brought color to the park. Even though it's beautiful, there were not blooming trees. We've funded, in part, an award-winning riparian installation along the creek's banks, just north of the stone bridge that most park goers are familiar with. And it's planted with comb flowers and rudbeckia and some thistle and all kinds of native plants that reduce erosion and provide habitat for the wildlife, keep the creek clean. And it did win an Excellence in Conservation Award in 2013 from the Grant Foundation's Schuylkill Highlands. We've also listened to what the rangers and the park staff felt that they need. One of those things was improving safety for the people who enjoy the park, and they asked for AEDs, or automatic defibrillators, which we did supply for them, 2 for their ATVs, and then 1 smaller one for the bike ranger. Completed. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and most recently, the pavilion that we're sitting in, too.
The pavilion that we're sitting in, right. There's a beautiful, large pavilion just below the parking area here that... if you've been to the park, you've probably passed it. Yeah, it's really pretty. And we gave a $10,000 donation. Last year it was completed. And it's good. It's not only, nice, but it's good and gives back to the park, because they do use it as a rental fee. So it serves, not only is pretty, but it gives back to the park, which is what we're all about. Because
I know you have a few sponsors on the website, but I was wondering if you're willing to talk about Road ID and,
yes,
and how they've helped out with
the coolest guys, Ed and Mike Wimmer, I believe their name is. I never met them, but they're the nicest guys to email with. They have a really wonderful company that provides safety items for runners and bikers. Items like
bracelets
that glow in the dark,
yep,
or interactive IDs. If someone would not be able to give a history, there's sort of like a link to...
Yeah, right, and that's the most important thing they do, is everything has your contact information engraved.
And they have a whole variety of things, and they are kind enough to sponsor us, and they give us all our bibs, our race bibs, and some gift certificates, and there's actually even their link on our website that if you choose to make a purchase through that link, 10% of that comes right back to Run4Sam, so you should check it out.
And more towards the future of the race, what exactly do you have in store? Or is it just based on what the park says, hey, this is kind of what we're looking for, or is there a definite goal each year?
Well, I think that over the years, the park staff and Chris Stress, who's the Berks County Parks Director, we've sort of understood, how we want to move forward in our mission. So he presents some projects that are on the table, and I'm very diplomatic about choosing, because my core group of people that comprise the committee are hardworking. They volunteer, and they give a lot of their own time. So we like to talk about it together, but I don't know that we've ever presented a project to them. We usually listen to what they have to offer, and then we decide what we think is most suitable, or maybe what Sam would approve of. They're so sweet like that. They always consider that.
Where specifically are you looking for future of the park?
Well, this year we have decided to go ahead with a project to install portages along the creek's banks, which would provide access for different watercraft to easily leave the creek,
like
kayaks and canoes. And it is going to be helpful to keep people out of that danger area above and below the dam breast. But not only that, it will reduce the people and the watercraft from trampling down the vegetation. It also will reduce erosion and some runoff issues, and probably better, less disruptive for the habitat. The
so people really aren't kind of just breaking in the middle of nowhere and pulling up their kayak.
Exactly.
They're really they're taking it to a place.
Yes.
And they can go back in and out around the dam.
Easily, correct.
Okay. That's actually it sounds pretty important, obviously, for people who use the creek.
The park, evidently the park and the senior staff were very adamant about getting this done, and hopefully it'll get started soon with our donation.
How exactly could people donate to Run4Sam, besides obviously registering for the race, which is coming up?
We always like to see people here too, and if you're not a runner, it's a beautiful walk, so don't be afraid by 4 miles or 10K. But yes, there is on our website, www.run4, and that's the number 4, sam.net, there is a contribution tab, and under that there is a form that primarily for more of our bigger corporate donors, but it's easy enough to fill out and check the other, and help us out with a monetary donation. There's a lot of people who are kind enough that when they're registering here, they might just, the registration's $25, they'll give $30 or $35 and just say keep the change. So it's awesome that.
Do you know how many people provide extra? I'm not sure.
I don't, but if my treasurer was here, she keeps a mean book, and she could tell you exactly. We don't rely on that. Our donations are primarily from a lot of very well-known businesses in the area. Bosco's has been a contributor. East Penn Manufacturer, one of our best donors, has always been Penn State Health St. Joe's, which is awesome too, because they're actually a neighbor to the park, and I'm sure a lot of their employees maybe take a walk down at lunch from the hospital. But yeah, they're a huge donor. Medtronic is a company that makes medical devices, which is the field I'm in. They're always a big donor. The company I work for, Berks Cardiologists. So yeah, we're always looking for new donors, though. Actually, this year, Reading Fight and Phil's joined us, and I believe, Burke's Products, which is a company that most people are familiar with, been around for a long time. And I apologize if I missed anybody. But yeah, we're always happy for new ones.
So what exactly do you have for kids involved in the race?
So each year after the 4-mile and 10K runners return, we do have a kids fun run. It's about approximately a quarter of a mile across the stone bridge, around a field and back. They love it. They all get bibs just like all the runners, and lots of times their parents who have brought them there and also are running. They all get a bag of goodies and a medal, and that's also, the race is also started by a clown. We have Ladybug the Clown in her own tent, so while the kids are waiting, she can make them balloon animals and balloon hats and tattoos. So there's a lot of stuff for the kids. It's really a family event. We usually have at least one or two tents that are doing massages, sometimes Reiki, and we have an awesome post-race spread of fresh fruit and bagels and pretzels, of course. It's Berks County, and lots of water. And also, any food that's left over, we do donate to City Lights Ministry.
Oh, okay.
They say it's a blessing for that food, and it nothing goes to waste.
And tell me a little bit about the awards for the race.
The top 3 in each age group, male and female, both races, 4-mile and 10K, do get recognized for their achievement. Several years ago, we decided and hoped that everyone would be okay with the fact that instead of spending a lot of money on trophies and medals, we would instead use that money to make a donation to a deserving local charity. Winners get a nice certificate that's suitable for framing, that exemplifies their award, and they have a chance to just make a slash mark vote for 3 charities that we pick ahead of time. So in the past 3 years, we've donated $1,000 to Habitat for Humanity, Girls on the Run, and the Humane Society of Berks County. We have 3 charities on the table right now as a committee. They're not finalized. The other charities get a small donation. We also like them and encourage them to have a presence here in the park too, so they have a chance to network with all the runners and participants, of which there are many, to explain what their charity does and who it benefits. And so it's kind of a win-win.
So the race is coming up August 21st. Where can people register for it and find more information about Run4Sam?
Sure. Well, first of all, of course, you can always register on race day. We have a great and very organized registration team that comes back every year, and they're located in the barn just before the stone bridge. But to be certain that you're going to get a Run4Sam t-shirt and to get a discount if you pre-reg, you can download the race applications on our website, again, www.run4sam.net, or you can download them on Pretzel City Sports. The team applications are only available on our website, and they do need to get in a little bit ahead of time because it's a little more to organize.
If there were teams, though, they could probably have that set up? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, there's a special team application, so they can all apply on one form.
Obviously, a race day is very quick. It's a whirlwind of a day. You're out there running and everything. But underneath everything, what do you want their experience to be as they go through the day, but then also afterwards? Yeah,
well, I think it's, I would hope that they would enjoy and share in the beauty of this park. It's a beautiful run. It's shaded. I have a little synopsis of on a board for people to read as they're registering, but I always tell them to look for the deer family that's always in the woods, or the red-tailed hawks that fly around here, or even a heron if they're lucky. So I think help us, support the park if they love it. We're the only race that gives back directly to the park. Certainly,
people actually see what you're doing.
Yes, absolutely, and that the scholarship is a good one, and it's going to a very deserving student. In fact, our student that won this year is a runner, going to continue running in college, and won 2 firsts in districts in track this spring. So, of course, always if they didn't know Sam, to know a little bit more about him, and those who did know him, is just to, honor his memory.
Thank you, Peggy, for taking the time to come on today and share your story. A lot has happened since 2007, but it's easy to see that one thing has not, and that is the community is still behind you and your family. Although the daily visitors to Grings Mill may not know it, you have changed their lives and continue to do so by improving the park through the donations that Run4Sam has made. For RDG Magazine, my name is Jason Hugg.